On tonight's program, ladies and gentlemen, we have something that's going to make you sick.
My beautiful aliens, hi. This is my third time doing this rerun. I am Carlson. It is 7:10 p.m. 23rd of July 2026, and I just wanted to do a brief introduction or like a revamp before I release this rerun episode. In case you're new here, thank you for tapping into this episode. This is a rerun episode, and in this episode originally I talk about co-comparison, jealousy, life happening for a reason, and things just not going how you expect them to be. The premise behind this was 3 years ago, exactly today, well last week, I was supposed to have graduated university, and for some, life circumstances, which was I took a gap year for my mental health, and then my lecturer accuses me and my whole cohort of using AI, and then we had to revamp that. There was a delay. I finally managed to graduate last week. Round of applause. And it was such a full circle moment. My mom was the one who dropped me off at university. It was me and my mama, and she's the one who came for my graduation. If you're on the Patreon, the Blue Room, I will leave the pics down below. I'm so grateful that I persevered and managed to achieve this goal. A goal, if I'm being quite frank and honest with you, I never pictured myself graduating. I never pictured my life past A-levels, like the nitty-gritty and where I want my life to be. So having this podcast is just an amazing, I love the support and the love and the care and the how it helps people in different various ways, and the feedback I get from you guys. And when I think about the last 3 years and when I was really wanting to graduate university and how much I've achieved in different forms, I managed to work at a radio station, you guys. Like, I love radio so much. I managed to work at a radio station. I presented the news to 700,000 people. What? Next, I worked for a wellness organization and I became the head of wellness. And as I was leaving, I was offered the CEO position. And how about that? I have successfully managed to keep this podcast going for the past 5 years. I have also conquered my fear of posting my face online for the past 6 months and have had beautiful reception and engagement. And I just think life truly happens the way it's supposed to happen. And yes, you need to work for certain things. Things don't just happen. You need to put action behind your goals. You need to manifest. You need to be consistent with your goals. Like right now, the element of my life I'm focusing on is my health. I need to go back into feeling fit and being in shape. I want to be healthy, the correct BMI, and just all of that health things. I've locked down the basics, like sleeping properly, eating properly. So now it's like really giving it a revamp and a boost in terms of movement. Next, I want to focus on my religion. I just want to hone down elements that, I want to learn more about. I want to be, with that also I've been consistent. I've been praying consistently and on time. I have been fasting. I have been doing the basics, but it's time for revamp. And the other element, of course, is the podcast. We have season 3, next season 3.5 or season 4. It's still up in the air, coming in August. And I want to just boost it and make it so beautiful for you guys. So my point is, when I recorded this podcast episode, I was in a very negative, dark headspace. And I was jealous and I was like frustrated. And I was like, will I ever graduate university? And walking on that stage last week, I was so proud of myself for not giving up, for doing the best I possibly can, and for achieving the things that I did while I was at university. So whatever headspace or stage you are in your life, I pray you think about it in the way that I did. And even if you're in a negative dip, I hope this podcast motivates you and encourages you to look at things differently and appreciate your blessings and growth, because truly nobody promised us anything. Life's what you make it, so let's make it rock. All right, my beautiful humans, I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I'll catch you in a few days. Hello, my beautiful alien. Yes, that is what I call listeners of the Authentically Blue podcast. If you're new here, I am your host Carlson, and you have caught a rerun episode. It could either be an interview that I did, or it could be a solo episode. For the solo episodes, I tend to have authentic rambles where I just ramble on what's in my mind with no script whatsoever. Or it could be a structured episode, either entertainment, my favorite TV shows, books, products, or it could be structured episodes in terms of a topic like boundaries. Anywho, I hope you enjoy this rerun episode, and you can catch me on socials or Patreon for more content. See you soon for season 4. Bye guys. Hey beautiful humans, it's editing Carlson popping in to say, in this episode there's a few things I forgot to mention. Firstly, there's timestamps down below because I ramble on about a 75-day challenge I'm doing. You'll get to hear more about it in a minute. And the episode starts from 10 minutes 52 seconds, I believe. I will leave the exact time down below. From that point, I talk about comparison, I talk about jealousy, I talk about different life paths and everything happening for a reason. And there's also exclusive content, which I mentioned. In this episode, you'll hear more about it too. But the exclusive content is only available on Spotify and Anchor. So I will leave a link down below. You can subscribe and become a member. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode because I really enjoyed recording it and felt so much joy and relief the next day. I woke up today buzzing, which is insane. I think I just needed to get it off my chest and unpack how I was feeling. None of it was planned. It was kind of out of the blue, the episode. But yeah, I hope you enjoy, and thank you so much for tuning in. Back to the episode. Hello, my beautiful humans, and welcome back, or welcome if you're new here to the Authentically Blue podcast. I am your host, Carlson. The time is currently 2:10 a.m., Wednesday, the 19th of July, 2023. It's been a hot minute since I've recorded on the podcast. I released an episode last week, You Gotta Be Hungry, and that was a very fun episode. Oh my goodness, I enjoyed coming up with the idea, creating the content, and even releasing it. Definitely gonna do reels on that and encourage people to listen to it. And I know you guys enjoyed it because it had more listeners than the other episodes on the first day, so thank you for that. If you don't follow me on Instagram, by the way, the podcast account, which everything is linked down below, I have been doing a 75-day challenge, and I'm currently on day 16. Yes, Wednesday the 19th is day 16. I'm doing a 75-day challenge, and a bunch of you on Instagram were like, what the hell is this? So the 75-day challenge is a challenge where the actual way of doing it, I will link a TikTok down below, a video. You can access it on Google or Safari if you don't have TikTok. But the video explains how there's different levels. So the main level was 75 hard. And for this, you're taking care of your mind, your body, what you eat, and how you exercise. There's different levels to it. So you have to drink, I don't know whether it's 2 liters or 2 gallons of water. And then you do exercises for 45 minutes, both inside and outside. You mix it up. There's also eating healthy, a bunch of stuff. I'll link the video down below. It describes it better than how I am explaining it because that's not the version I'm doing. Personally, I want to be consistent with my fitness. I've gone through waves with this, and the perfect way to do it for me was to have an accountability partner, and this person follows my Instagram account. And I decided one day, the day before the challenge, to just randomly, I was like, oh my god, I should include my Instagram fam or my podcast community who follow me on there. It's just 50 of you guys, but please go follow these. I upload every day and try and release content, so that's fun. However, I decided to include you guys, so you do the challenge with me. It's working out every day for 75 days. You can join in at any point of the challenge, and the goal is to work out every day consistently for 75 days. After that, it's up to you. And personally, the bet I have with this person in my life is whoever loses buys the other person sushi. There's an amazing place in Nairobi and I'm obsessed. I cannot wait for that sushi because I am currently in front by a few days because my accountability partner has missed a few days. However, I have been encouraging them to use an app called Fiton. I've been tagging this app on my Instagram, potentially working with them. Fiton, if you're listening. I love this app so much. This is not an ad, by the way, just personal use. I've been using this app since 2020, literally lockdown in London. I remember it so vividly. An aunt of mine introduced this to me. Shout out to you. She was a guest on the podcast. I'm going to link that episode down below. It's also exclusive content. But she introduced this app to me and I was staying in North London at the time and she was staying in South London. So when we couldn't be together, we would be friends on Fiton and challenge each other to work out every day or however much we could during the week. I love this app so much because firstly, this has become an advertisement. It will be soon, but this is just me trying to get you guys to do this challenge with me. With Fiton app, you have a variety of workouts. You have at-home workouts. It's mainly aimed for at-home workouts, but you can do these workouts in the gym. So when you're at home, it has options to do no equipment or equipment if you have any. You can have substitutes. Like if you don't have weights, you can use 2 bottles of water or flour and even cans of beans. Some of the fitness coaches on there mentioned these things and I was like, this is amazing. I would literally lug 2 cans of beans to the park with me in 2020. Oh, memories. And do this workout there in the park and the green and the fresh air. It was a whole vibe. But there's so many options. Lately, I personally have been into Pilates because I used to stretch every week and I kind of fell off, but I'm getting back into it. So my muscles are becoming more flexible, but I want to tone my body a bit more and strengthen my muscles. So Pilates, that's why I've been into Pilates a little bit more. And it's more challenging for me because I mix up my workouts, but I feel like Pilates is the perfect balance for me, for where I am at in my life right now. And this app has that. In the future, I would love to go to Pilates classes, but these are expensive for me at the moment. Soon they won't be. Manifesting. And it's fun having an app like Fiton where I can do and target different muscles in my body at home. Another benefit of the app Fiton is you can add your friends on there so they can challenge you or congratulate you as you do your workouts, and it's quite motivating. The Fiton app also has over 41 types of workouts, which is unbelievable. Some of my favorites are kickboxing. I don't have the app open. I probably should have checked, but I didn't intend to go on about the app, but here I am. I enjoy the meditation. I enjoy the stretches, the yoga. I enjoy Pilates, of course. I enjoy the HIIT workouts. There's kickboxing. That's another favorite one of mine. And yeah, those are the ones lately I've been enjoying, but I've obviously done a variety of them in the past. But yes, that's a Fiton app recommendation for you guys to download. I'm going to leave a link down below and you can join in if you want to do that. And potentially I will work with Fiton in the future. This is me manifesting. Okay, back to the 75-day challenge. So personally, people have been asking, what kind of workouts are you doing? And it doesn't matter what workout you do, whether it's a walk outside, whether it's swimming, whether it's boxing, whether it's going to the gym, whether it's stretching at home for 5 minutes from YouTube or Fiton, whether it's, the main aim is to move your body. And all our bodies are in different stages and places in life. So give yourself grace. Like some of the Pilates movements I've been doing now I find challenging, whereas in 2020 I didn't, because I was more consistent with my workouts. Whereas this year I have been good the first half of the year, but certain events have made me fall off the consistency, and no one is to blame but me. But here we are. I'm improving my stamina and getting my muscles to improve. But yeah, if you want to join me on the challenge, I'll leave my it's the podcast Instagram account at Authentically Blue, at Authentically B7 at G. That's the email, at Authentically B7, and you can find me there. Or you can follow my personal account, Aisha Carlson, on Instagram, and you'll find it in the bio, but everything's down below anyway. But yeah, if you want to join in, please do. It doesn't matter I'm on day 15 or 16, just join in, and I will, if you want to, you can post it on your story. You don't have to post a picture of yourself. I do a variety. I just do like workout complete and day this over. Sometimes I add music, whichever vibe I've been into that week. Like the first week of doing the workouts, I was doing, wow, I feel like I'm just talking about fitness, but yes, it's part of my podcast or life at the moment, I suppose. In the beginning I would do cycling, and I really enjoyed I made an upbeat cycling playlist, and whichever song stood out to me for the night, I would put it on my Instagram story. It'll all be in my highlights, so go check that out. Back to the episode. I can't even remember if I mentioned exclusive content, but I have exclusive content, and I will be doing this episode as we're almost 10 minutes in right now, so minus the fitness part of it, I'm gonna include less than 10 minutes, so this probably be like a 17-minute episode or less. The rest of the episode will be for my subscribers, and I will leave the link down below. The price for the exclusive content is, let me check, hold on a second, I believe £199, and that is $3, and in Kenyan shillings that is less than 500, I believe 300 bob, and that's a month if I'm not wrong. I don't think it's a week. It could be, but I'll leave all the information down below. If you want to check out the rest of this episode, you can find it there. And thank you for subscribing to my exclusive content. Anywho's, in this week's episode, I'm going to be talking about comparison, life paths, and things that happen for a reason. Okay, today is currently the 19th. Ooh, it's 2:22 a.m. Today is currently the 19th of July, but yesterday would have been a milestone in my life if I didn't decide to take another route. And it got me thinking in the evening, especially after seeing pictures and stuff of this event that happened, how I'm behind in life and I've messed up and I'm a failure and all these negative thoughts and emotions. I always do my best to give myself grace in life, and it's difficult, trust me, and we get caught up in moments of comparison and thinking our life should be a certain way when really all our lives are different. But yeah, and that inspired me to create this episode. It's very easy to find yourself comparing your life to someone else. And I think for me personally, in the beginning, I did not do this a lot because my life has been very unique in terms of where I grew up and how many transitions I've had in my life. I was born in the UK. I stayed there till I was 7. My parents divorced. I lived with my grandparents till I was like 12 or 13. That was in like Kericho, which is now considered a town, but was a rural area in Kenya, in the Rift Valley, and it's very gorgeous and beautiful and green. It's literally the #1 producer of tea in the world till now, because it's amazing. And then I moved to Nairobi when I was like 13ish, and I lived with my mom and my stepdad, who are amazing human beings. and I stayed there till I was 17 or 18, and then I moved to the UK. So I've had so many transitions in my life, and it's difficult to have someone specifically to compare it to. Whereas if I was in the UK from birth to, let's say, 18, whatever stage I was to move away for university or a job or wherever life would have taken me, I think it would have been more easy to find myself comparing myself to people. But with the fact that I'd moved around a lot, it wasn't as easy to do this. However, in 2021, I believe I found myself comparing myself to some people because we were literally at the same stage in life, experiencing the same things, and the future felt unknown and vague. And I briefly found myself doing that with some people who I knew at the time. And I talked about this in therapy, how when I was younger, this was something I didn't do because of the transitions, and it was such a difficult emotion for me to comprehend and understand, and I judged myself for it. And I'm only human. Olivia Rodrigo wrote an amazing song called Jealousy, Jealousy. I will link it down below. It's perfect. It explains. I related to that song when it came out because, not fully, but certain aspects of it. Look at me trying to be, what's the word? Trying to be savvy and cool and shit. But yeah, there was a moment where that happened. And this year, today specifically, I knew I would feel this way this week. And thank goodness I had a change of environment. I'm spending the week at my grandmother's, and it kind of took me out of my routine. It took me out of I wasn't in a funk, but I feel like if I was home right now, I would have been in a funk because of the overthinking and the negativity and thinking my life should have been different. But being with my grandmother and there's also no Wi-Fi in this house, and there hasn't been Wi-Fi for the past week. I've been buying bundles and struggling. So I think there's that balance of the Wi-Fi being disconnected and kind of having to ground myself and be in the moment and be with her. And my grandmother reminds me a lot of my childhood because she raised me for part of it, and it just felt exactly what I needed at this time. And also, there's a few things happening in the family right now, not at liberty to say, but it's interesting to see a few amazing things are happening in the family right now. And it's interesting to see how my grandmother has 4 daughters, and it's interesting to see how all their lives are completely different. And my uncles, their lives are completely different too. And it just made me reflect and think on how it doesn't matter whether people are your friends, acquaintances, siblings, best friends, chosen family, or family by blood. No one's life will ever be the same, and you can't expect 2 people to have similar things. Someone may get married young, another person may get married old, someone may get pregnant young, someone old, someone may buy a house, someone may not, someone may go to university, someone may not, there's just too many life paths and options and choices. And what's best for me is not I don't have a sister, but what's best for me is not what's best for, let me use my family as an example. What's best for one of my aunties isn't the best for the other auntie. And it's all okay. And it's easy to find yourself comparing yourself to people because you think it's better and you think the grass is green on the other side, but it's not necessarily that way. Okay, I think I'm gonna stop on that point because I've made myself pretty clear. And then things happening for a reason. This is an interesting one because on the podcast I've talked about this quite a bit, about how I was struggling with understanding how things happen for a reason. And if I'm not wrong, this is 2022, early 2022, when I was going through my existential crisis. I couldn't comprehend the fact that everything happens for a reason and people had the choice to do something. And I think for me personally, it was in relation to human actions. And okay, I'll go more in depth in the exclusive content, but my point being, I do currently believe everything happens for a reason. And I was reflecting today on if I didn't take the steps or the choices I made in the past year, and I would have had that big milestone today, I wouldn't have experienced so much of what I experienced, because this year I have had so much growth. I have had so much comfort in family, and it's something I really needed. I think I've bonded with my family on levels I didn't think was necessary, and I've experienced amazing things, and I've had uncomfortable moments with people, and I've had growth, and I've understood myself better. And it's literally, I was speaking to a cousin of mine before my birthday in June, late June, and she was telling me how literally the Taylor Swift song 22 describes we're happy, free, confused, and lonely at the same time. Like, that year encapsulates how that sentence encapsulates how I felt. It's so many emotions of understanding who I am and disliking it and liking it and giving myself grace and being human and having gnarly and disgusting emotions, like ugly emotions that I don't even think I'm ready to unpack on the podcast yet. Maybe one day in the future with guests, or who knows. I just actually thought of an amazing idea of having a therapy session live on the podcast, but I don't know. I'll have to get comfortable with the idea first. But yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap up here for people who don't subscribe to my exclusive content. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you have a lovely week, and I'll catch you next week. By the way, I have a surprise for you guys next week, so stay tuned for that, and don't forget to follow my Instagram down below. Thank you for tuning in. Bye.